Alright everyone, it's time for something that I haven't actually done here before. We're doing a chili sauce. To be honest, I put this fermentation either about 4 months ago and then forgot about it. And then eventually I thought it won't be good anymore, but I took it out and as you can see, it's looking pretty healthy. So I'm going to turn this into a hot sauce. I'm going to make sure it actually fermented first and then turn it into a really quick hot sauce based off Chili Chump. So Sean, Chili Chump's got a really good book. He's got a lot of recipes in there. And on one of the pages is his Mega Mash or Mega Monster Mash, whatever he calls it. It's actually got some really good recipes in it. And this is just kind of leftover chilies in here, so I'll base it on that. Now, the problem is I started this 4 months ago, and apparently all that I wrote down was the weight of the container, which has probably been on there for a while. So I don't really know what's in here, but it looks like it was only chilies. I guess we'll see as we go a bit, but first things first, let's pop it open. I cracked the lid when I dropped this. Now, interestingly, I didn't really hear it bubbling either when it was fermenting, so normally it would bubble a fair bit. Didn't hear it, but it was also sealed away in an old fridge pretty good, so it just sat there doing its own thing. And I've been looking for this glass bowl for so long, because I normally use it all the time. Alright. Ooh, that smells good. Oh, that's where those extra lids went too. Alright, so I had everything pressed down under the water. I sterilised all of this first to make sure it was about as clean could get. I mean, you can never really win. But I used a sterilising agent. The one I usually use is down here. It's actually for cleaning my beer bottles with when I do my homebrew. So that's Bigelow Homebrew bottle washing powder, and then I give a spray with vinegar before I pour everything into it, and as you can see, it turned out really good. A little bit of calm yeast around the outside here, this white stuff, that's really nothing to worry about. Oh, nearly fell over. I haven't even had this yet, hang on. It's been a long day. Now also, it's been a really rainy day, so it may just start raining at any time and get really loud, and you're just going to have to live with it, because I didn't plan to make this video, but taking advantage of some peace and quiet that I've got. And I want to get this out the way because it actually turned out pretty good. Or it's smelling like it turned out pretty good. So we'll turn it into a sauce. We'll see how the video goes. I've got no plans. I don't really know what I want to put in besides some lemon and some garlic and some brown sugar. But we also need to make sure that this did ferment. So I've got this little cheapo pH meter here from eBay. It's actually lasted pretty well. I benchmark it against some other methods from time to time, like the drops that you can use and the litmus strips. So if we just dunk this in here, where you can see, I calibrated it probably an hour ago. And it's looking like, yeah, that's well under 4.5. I'd say that's a very healthy pH. It looks like it's going to go down pretty close to 4. 4.2, I'm happy with either way. Just for a comparison, for a bit of a benchmark as well to make sure that's right, I've got the old paper strips, dime a dozen on eBay, and yeah, it's just a tinge of red there, so it's definitely darker than a 5, or very close to a 4, not quite as dark as a 4, so I'd say yeah, that reading we got just before was about on point. So the first thing we want to do here is not mix my wine into it, drain most of this brine off. Actually, let's get some weight measurements. Fresh battery in this bad boy, turn it on, and this thing is 227 grams without the lid. So if we take 227 grams off whatever we've got here, should know 3.157. So we're going to say it's just under 2 kilos, but let's get the brine out first and see what it comes in at. Need to do this smarter, don't I? That's a lot of brine, but that's also a lot of chili. Now in here I've got a mix of, love time, all sorts of chilies that I just had left. Mate ripped a plant out, one of the plants I've talked about before that I relocated. So there's a lot of these Anaheims. I've got some random red jalapenos. I think we're a bit overripe. We've got some probably peri-peris in here, cayens. It looks like it's going to be mostly jalapenos and Anaheims. I don't know. I honestly, 4 months ago, there's no chance I'm going to remember that. So I'm using chemical gloves here, these powder-free nitrile gloves, because I found normal disposable food gloves, the capsaicin just gets through them eventually and you know about it. Next thing we're going to need to do, measure that. Alright, 1.134, so if we take off about, well, I'm going to say it's about 900 grams. 1.134 minus 227, so about 900 grams give or take, because we're going to add and remove a few things from it. Now, we're going to want to blend it, and I'm getting a mild feeling that this blender ain't going to be big enough, so let's just see how it goes. We can do, oh shit. We'll do a bit at a time. How about that? Because it doesn't all fit. And for that, I've got my Breville CBL6 that I've had for 100 years. So this thing is a trooper. It's made more margaritas than I can ever count. It's recently been used for smoothies because I've got someone much healthier than me staying with me for a little bit. And it survived all sorts that we put it through. It's run hot so many times, but the main thing is it makes chili sauces. It's going to be loud. Ooh. It's jumping around a bit. It's a bit short on liquid, but there should be more liquid that comes out of these chili sauce. Do this a slightly different way this time. Like we've got some brains. Almost. Almost. I hope Sean never watches this. He's going to see a disgrace to his method. But you know what? It's a Monday. It's been a long Monday. I'm too sober to be dealing with this. Where's that gone? I just wanted to get it done. I really did. So let's power through and see how it turns out. Alright, that's looking a really good consistency. So let's get that one across. And start doing a few more. We're probably going to need to add a little bit of that brine back in as well, just to give it some juice. There's more brine in there. That's handy. Blenders don't work well without a little bit of liquid, so you'll find even if you're trying to break up some ice, put a bit of water in there and it will blend so much better. Bought a couple of blenders before I learnt that. Thought that was still shit. And for the next batch. You see with less liquid it's not falling as quickly. Maybe I was wrong, but you can see it takes a bit longer to fall and I can hear the engine starting to burn a bit, so. Alright, so to this mix, I'm going to add a fair bit of lemon, about that much worth of lemon. I don't even know how hot this is going to turn out. Let's give it a quick test. Oh yeah, there's a bit of heat there. It's actually not a bad taste. Very natural chili. You can taste that it's been fermented. So when we cook it off, that taste will change a little bit. Let's now add a little bit of sugar. Got your normal brown sugar here. The broken elastic band. And gonna add about that much. Where's the camera gone? It's over here. No, it's on that side. So about that much into it. One heaped tablespoon. And then I've got 1 clove of garlic. So for that, I was tempted to add it before or after. If you add the garlic after it's cooked, you preserve more of the garlic flavour. But it's a small batch and I just want a hint of it. So let's skin it. It's old garlic, so cut off that old, really old garlic. Let's get another bit of garlic out. But you know what? If I've got, nope, but I might have cheetah's garlic, but I don't. So let's see how another clove goes. Much healthier. Cut ends off. Oh, really? Or not? Where the hell did this garlic come from? I don't know what shop I got this garlic from. I'm pretty certain it was recently because it's nearly a whole clove and I go through a lot of garlic. Oh, look, you know what? It's a bit janky, but I'm just going to use it. It's going to get cooked. I'm sure it's fine. It still smells exactly like garlic. And I'll buy more tomorrow. Crush it up, crush it up. Alright, and kick this one, that went everywhere, god damn. Alright, keep it going. A bit of that brine back too, just for good measure. What's that, maybe half a cup. Get that back in there. And everywhere else too, apparently. There we go, you can see it's mixing a lot better now that the brine's in there. Alright, I am happy with that. So now you have a whole pile of mess. If you're married, try to do less mess than I do. If you're not married, I'll still try to do less mess than I do. I've only got me to deal with, so I'll clean all of this up later. Next, clean your work area. Clean work area is a happy work area, so for me, that means put it outside the camera's view. And wipe it all into the sink. Now I'm being a little bit more careful with this cooktop because I've actually got to recoat it. It's an engineered stone and it's worn over time. So I'll sort that out sometime, but not today. Now though, we have the Anko induction cooker, which I haven't used in some time. And I figure that'll be perfect for giving this a cook on. Now all we really want to do here is, if you'd stop your fermentation early, you're killing off the lactobacillus, but you're also cooking out kind of the fermented flavour, the brine a little bit. It changes, in my opinion, the flavour quite a bit. It's also going to kill off any little bugs that got in there. It's going to blend through, you know, the sugars and whatnot a little bit better. And I think it just makes it a nicer profile. So for this, we are going to go... How does this work? That's right. So wattage... We don't even want it that hot. Wait, was that... What was the W? That's the timer. Alright, we do it based on temperature, so let's get it cranked first, get it boiling, and then we'll dial it back. And geez, we've got some bubbles coming out of there. I wonder if it's... No, it couldn't be fermenting more. Then we'll dial it back a little bit and see what's going on. Oh! Alright, that is starting to boil very quickly. Protecting my face. Alright, gonna give this a little while and let it cook away and see how it looks in a little while. Now this, I don't know if you remember my Anko induction cooker video. It's making some interesting sounds, it's making some zappy sounds in there now. I'm sure that's fine. Yeah, much less induction sound coming from this one than even from every other one that I've tested. It's also got good grippy feet, so it's not going to wobble around. So this is probably my favourite. It cooks bloody quick. I mean, look at that go already. Steam, everything's happening. I'm not sure if I'm going to add more brine back to this one. I might thin it out a little bit. I'm going to cook it at 100 degrees. You know, let's go 90 degrees, 80. All right, you skip a beat, but that's fine. And come back to this at a later time. Probably give it a solid 15 to 20 minutes here. We'll actually keep stirring a little bit in that time. So, as usual, the stupid bloody phone died again. But this has been going for about 20 minutes now. It's changed quite a bit. Hasn't turned red. I added red food colouring. I was gonna, I think maybe troll you, say chilies go redder when they get hotter, but that was a load of garbage. I added red food colouring because it's a hot sauce. I want it to look like a hot sauce, not like a soft sauce. Like the green ones are normally, you know, your more pastier Mauritian style or whatnot sauces. Rare to get a hot green sauce, but they do exist. Don't be fooled. So I've added 3 cups of brine back to this. I had a bit of a taste. I really wanted to thin it out. It was quite thick as it started cooking down. It's a really nice consistency now. I'm quite happy with this. So I added 3 cups of brine back to it, but I added 2 more tablespoons of of brown sugar, because it still had just that bite that didn't really have any round corners on it. So the sugars smoothed it out a little bit, as did cooking it down. Then I've also added maybe not even half a cup of vinegar, just to make it a little bit more complex. Like I don't want it really vinegary, like it's not a 50-50 like a Tabasco or anything like that, but I wanted a little bit more going on there, and I thought about not adding vinegar, but it really worked out well. So right now this is consistently smooth. I think it's got about the right flavour profile. Let's just try it again. There's an interesting sweet tang. I'd almost given it a bit of a lemony profile, but I think that'd be really good on chicken. So now that bit's all done, that's tolerable hot. Get that out of the way. I'm just going to give it a bit of a strain. There's some thicker bits in it, and I just want to thin it out slightly. Just a few of those fibrousy bits. Now when you're doing this, of course, always pour away from yourself. This might take a little while. Always pour away from yourself. Yep. Because you don't get the chili smoke steam in your mouth then as well. Oh, breathing that is not good for oh, that's nice when that stops, isn't it? Yeah, breathing that isn't good for your insides, I swear. Or really good, one of the two. Like this. It's definitely one of the two. Alright, I could keep straining this, but honestly think at that point the return's just not worth it. Now this I'm actually going to keep, I dry it out and turn it into a rub. It's got a lot of good flavour in there. Usually when I turn it into a rub, I mix in a whole pile of salt as well, and it's actually pretty damn good no matter what sort of flavours and herbs you've added in there. This though is a metric shit ton of what I would say looks like a really good chili sauce. Get the scales out. Now, again, I probably wouldn't go out of my way to make this recipe because I don't know what's in it. It's not the best flavour profile it's ever had, and I don't even have any jars to put it in. But for the first 2 reasons, I wouldn't recommend making it yourself. 3.370. All right. When I edit this, I'll have calculated what this weighs and take it out afterwards. Well, I'll say this is going to weigh about a kilo. So I'd say there's about maybe 2 to 2.5 kilos of sauce here. And let's have a final taste. As it cools down, I've strained that out. Get a bit of a look at its consistency. Just a little bit of material in there, which is good, mostly thin. That's quite nice. There's a lot of heat left in that material over there, I'd say. It's a soft, easy heat. Go great on pizzas, I'd say. For anyone that likes, for anyone that loves hot sauces, I'd say this is a solid medium or just below medium. For an amateur, it's a good hot sauce for them to get into, I think. I'm not going to put it back in, it's not sanitary, but yeah, I'm happy with this. To make up some bulk chili sauce with the end of year chilies that I didn't think it would be very hot. I don't know what I threw in there. And yeah, worthwhile. So maybe I'd recommend making it if you can work out what I put in there. But at the end of each season, when you've got spare chilies left over, knock them up into a hot sauce. You just brine it 2 or 3% salt, forget about it for a while as long as it's sterilised and airtight or it's got a bubbler on it, and then do what we just did here. Make less of a mess, and it turns out good. So now I'm going to scoop this into some bottles, go find some somewhere. I just threw out a bucket load of bottles the other day, like shit, yesterday. So I'll find some other bottles, bottle it up, give it away to some friends, and maybe a half a litre of this will last me till next season. So cheers, folks. If you lasted this long, don't forget to like and subscribe. In the down below will be some information maybe on this, if I remember. Leave some comments if you want to know more. Leave some comments if you want to see more of this sort of thing. I don't really do many cooking or less ad hoc videos now. It's been testing this sort of fucking cheap appliances mostly. Or if you want me more sober or more drunk or to talk more clearly or suggestions. This is a side project that doesn't make me money, but I have fun doing it. So let me know. And don't say buy better quality equipment because I ain't spending money on this shit. Till then, take it easy.